This weekend, Florida State will look to add to an already rich DB class. Let's bring on Michael Langston from War Chant. Mike, the number 3 ranked safety in the country. 4-star Zaquan Patterson is set to make his announcement. Miami, Auburn, Michigan, and FSU are the main players. What has FSU done to position themselves as a finalist for Patterson?
I think it's a two-part thing. One, it's getting him on campus multiple times, but I think the other thing is they've really recruited him personally as a person, and that's really connected with Zaquan and his family. And two, people that don't know, Zaquan he's kind of a slash linebacker slash safety, but Nike Norvell had a twist to it where he said, I look at you like a playmaker. That's your position. You're a playmaker. So I think that really resonated with Zaquan. And I think as time went on, he saw that stuff. And I think the last thing is Edwin Joseph, Conrad Hussey, both of those are South Florida kids that he's close to. Both of them are making big splashes in the spring and the fall practices. So I think that's also a big thing, that he's seeing his boys play really well, and they're going to be a big part or significant part in this FSU defense. And I think it's kind of fits to Mike Norvell's word that, hey, I'm going to play the best guys. It doesn't matter what year you are. And I think that's really resonated with Zaquan.
Yeah, and I think at different points of his recruitment, different teams have been maybe out ahead as the quote-unquote favorite. At one point it was Miami, at another point it was Auburn and Michigan, and now, as we're about 48 hours out, it really feels like it's trending toward Florida State. So what's your prediction on what Zaquan Patterson could do on Saturday when he announces his decision?
Yeah, my prediction right now would be Florida State. That's where I sit. I felt that way probably for, I would say, a week and a half. Josh, and I haven't heard anything different, except it's been pretty consistent that it's Florida State. And the reason being is just what they've done, what they offer. Certainly it's a position of need of them, getting safeties in this team, because these recruits have seen what they've done with Jamie Robinson and these other players, and they see what FSU's building. And I think the relationships, we talk about that a lot, of why FSU lands a lot of these kids. And I think the relationships at FSU is just the best he has. And that doesn't discount for the other places like Miami and Auburn. And just really shows you, I think, the amount of ground that FSU made up in this recruitment, because they did not have much of a shot early on in this thing, where he wasn't even visiting FSU. But I think those last 2 visits, I think, really resonated and connected with him, and he saw kind of what FSU's doing, and that's why I have the Noles right now.
Yeah, it seems like it's trending that way, and if it continues to through Saturday and Zaquan Patterson does fall to the Seminoles, then, Mike, this has a chance for FSU to land an insane defensive back class, because you already got 5-star safety KJ Bolden, who's the number 1 ranked safety in America, 5-star corner Charles Lester, the number 2 ranked corner in America. Then you could potentially add Zaquan Patterson, the number 3 ranked safety. Now, FSU does have 3-star safety CJ Hurd committed, but they are not done. What other top DB targets is FSU trying to add to this 2024 class?
Yeah, as you point out, Josh, they are not done. There's a big one still on the table outside of Patterson. He hails also in South Florida, and Jamari Howard out of Miami, Florida. That's a guy that they've had on campus multiple times. He actually shunned Florida to come over for the FSU visit for a 2-day visit, and I think they hold the lead for Jamari. He really connects with Patrick Surtain, and I was kind of joking with people, like, I don't know what he's getting paid, but I would be wanting a raise at this point, or a bonus for what the job that Patrick Surtain's already done there. But I think Jamari Howard is kind of the main one that I'm focused on, Josh, right now. There's a few others that they're talking to, but I think for FSU, I think Jamari Howard would be the guy that I think they're focused on, and I think they lead for at this point. He will take a while, because he's going to take official visits. He's going to go through the process, but I think they've positioned themselves in that top spot right now for Jamari.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, because there are some impatient FSU fans that didn't think Pat Surtain got off to a quick enough start on the recruiting trail. But here we are, and we're not even into the season yet, and it looks like Florida State has a real shot to land one of the top DB classes, if not the top DB class in America. I can't let you go without talking about some Florida State flips, but we're not going to talk about Jeremiah Smith. Everybody talks about Jeremiah Smith. We know that one's going to go down to the wire. He's making a quote-unquote final decision in December. I want to know about some of the under-the-radar ones, mainly Artavius Jones, a four-star defensive lineman that is committed to Miami, and Jason Zandamela, a four-star offensive lineman committed to USC. Let's start with Jones. What has FSU done there to put themselves in position for a potential flip?
Yeah, Artavius is, for those that don't know, is from Bluntstown. That's maybe 45 miles away from Tallahassee. It's not far. He went over to FSU late in the summer for kind of a surprise visit, stopping by. He's always liked FSU a lot. He's always had high interest in Odell Higgins. When I checked with my intel, even kind of last week, they indicated they didn't indicate a timeline, but they indicated that this is one that they feel they can get done as far as flipping him from Miami. They feel good about what their product's going to be on the field. Obviously, Miami is the main competitor. So I think if Miami struggles and then you see FSU do what they did last year, I think there's a good chance you could see him in this FSU class. I think that's a guy they feel like things are developing well with what FSU is doing as far as that recruitment and that relationship. So he's one I'm keeping a close eye on. I'm not guaranteeing a flip, but I think right now the confidence from the FSU side is cautiously confident that they can get him.
All right, the other FSU potential flip that I want to talk about is somebody that Florida State thought that they were in good spot with in early summer, and that's Jason Zandamela, the interior offensive lineman out of Clearwater. Then he committed to USC. Is FSU still in touch, and do you expect him back in Tallahassee this fall?
Yeah, Jason Zandamela, I mean, he took a visit in I think March, and you're like, wow, this kid's, I mean, he's like, I asked him directly, Jason, how do you feel? And he's like, who stands out? And he just turned around and looked at Moore Athletic Center and FSU. It was clear that FSU was the school, and then takes an official to USC, and they just offer so many different things, both as a football program and academic institution. I think this really resonated with Jason, and he committed. But FSU's been very active with him. But that's one where I don't think there's a lot of movement that I've seen with FSU. I know he really likes Alex Atkins. There's no secret about that, and who doesn't that he recruits. But I think it's something where, the seasons of USC and the seasons of FSU could dictate kind of where this thing goes if you're going to swing some momentum. Because right now I think he's very comfortable in that pledge, and I've said that to our Premium Recruiting Board audience and the War Chant fans that I felt like right now he's still comfortable, although FSU's active. If I was making a pick, I would say that he likely sticks with USC. They already got one flip in Manisi ITT, but I think this one will be a much harder one because of what he sold on with the USC program.
All right, well, we'll watch for those flips down the road, but this weekend, all eyes are on Zaquan Patterson at Chaminade Madonna High School as he makes his college decision. Mike, thanks for dropping by the Inside Scoop and previewing everything that's going on in Florida State recruiting.
My pleasure, Josh.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me, and remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.